The Simpsons predicted Donald Trump's death in 2025. Welcome to the most amazing channel where fiction and reality collide. Today, we're diving into one of the most jaw-dropping predictions The Simpsons has ever made: the death of Donald Trump in the year 2025. Yes, you heard that right. Long before the headlines and internet buzz, The Simpsons may have quietly dropped hints about Trump's final days through eerie scenes, cryptic dialogue, and uncanny symbolism. Whether it's a mysterious coffin scene or the shocking legacy left in Bart to the Future, this isn't just another theory. This might be the moment where satire becomes prophecy. Let's begin. Prediction number 1. The coffin scene. It all started with a single haunting image: Donald Trump lying in an open casket surrounded by somber lighting and silent onlookers. Below the frame, one number was etched: 2025. No dialogue, no context, just a moment frozen in time that sent shockwaves through the internet. People were convinced it came from The Simpsons. The style matched perfectly: the angles, the shading, the background. It felt like a real moment captured from an actual episode. For many, it wasn't just a meme, it was a prediction, a glimpse into something that hadn't happened yet. But here's the twist: the image doesn't come from any official episode. It's widely believed to be fan-made or possibly AI-generated. Still, millions believed it, shared it, and treated it like gospel. Why? Because The Simpsons has predicted the future so many times before that people no longer question it. So why the year 2025? Some speculate it ties into Trump's age, his controversial political career, and the ongoing tensions surrounding a potential comeback. Others suggest it's symbolic, not just a physical death, but the death of an era. Even if this scene wasn't real, it triggered very real emotions. It stirred fear, curiosity, and fascination. And it begs the question, even if the coffin wasn't drawn by the show, was the warning still real? Prediction number 2. Bart to the Future. 2000. Trump's presidency. Back in the year 2000, long before Trump ever set foot in the White House, The Simpsons aired an episode that would become one of its most famous predictions. In Bart to the Future, we flash forward to an adult, Lisa Simpson, now President of the United States. During a cabinet meeting, she says something spine-chilling: "We've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump." At the time, it sounded like a joke, a satirical jab at a businessman who was more of a media figure than a serious politician. But 16 years later, that line stopped being funny. It became a headline. The accuracy of that prediction sparked endless fan theories. If The Simpsons could foresee Donald Trump becoming president back in 2000, what else might they have slipped into that episode? Hidden details? Symbolic warnings? Some theorists believe the episode doesn't just predict Trump's presidency, but also his legacy, and possibly his downfall. The tone of Lisa's administration is one of damage control, of picking up the pieces after something monumental. And if that presidency followed Trump's, what exactly happened to him? When you pair this with the viral coffin image, fans start drawing connections. Could The Simpsons have been telling a longer story all along, first predicting his rise, and now foreshadowing his end? Whether literal or symbolic, the show painted Trump's future in unnerving detail. And with 2025 on the horizon, many wonder if that fictional budget crunch was just the beginning of the final chapter. Prediction number 3. Trump escalator scene, 2015 versus real life. In 2015, the world watched as Donald Trump descended an escalator in Trump Tower, waving to crowds as he announced his candidacy for president. But for many fans of The Simpsons, the scene felt disturbingly familiar. That's because The Simpsons had already aired a parody of that exact moment years before. Trump on the escalator, the gestures, even the placement of people in the crowd. It was almost shot-for-shot identical. Side-by-side comparisons went viral, and people began to whisper the word prediction with more seriousness than ever before. Was this a simple coincidence, or something else? Some believe this was The Simpsons visualizing not just the start of Trump's political career, but a larger, more complete life arc. If the writers could depict the beginning with such eerie precision, is it possible they've already shown us how the story ends? The escalator scene has since become symbolic, not just of Trump's rise, but potentially of a fall. Escalators go down as well as up. Could this moment have doubled as a metaphor? Now, in 2025, fans are revisiting that same scene with fresh eyes. Was it the opening of a presidency, or the start of a timeline already mapped out by America's most prophetic cartoon? With every passing year, more and more people believed The Simpsons didn't just guess right. They saw the script long before the rest of us. Prediction number 4. Trumptastic Voyage, 2015. Shrinking into Trump's body. One of the strangest and most revealing Trump-related segments from The Simpsons came in 2015 with a short titled Trumptastic Voyage. In it, Mr. Burns sends a miniature crew inside Donald Trump's body, aiming to fix his brain and ensure his survival for political purposes. What they find inside isn't just comedic, it's disturbing. The internal chaos, bizarre brain malfunctions, and decaying health indicators inside Trump's animated body sparked major theories. Fans now see this short not merely as a parody of Trump's personality, but a direct metaphor for mental decline, instability, and looming health failure. At the time, it was just cartoon absurdity. But in 2025, as Trump turns 79 and continues to battle legal stress, the short suddenly feels much darker. Rewatching it now, many claim the episode was less satire and more a prelude to collapse. Some even argue that the journey inside Trump's body mirrors the eventual end of that body, a symbolic death or shutdown of a system too chaotic to sustain itself. It's not a direct prediction of death, but it paints a picture of internal breakdown, physical, mental, and political. And given The Simpsons' uncanny accuracy over the years, some fans now treat this short as a critical piece in a much bigger puzzle. Was Trumptastic Voyage a cartoon gag? Or was it a veiled warning that something inside was already failing? As we move deeper into 2025, many believe this episode wasn't just fiction, it was foreshadowing. Prediction number 5. Gravestone Gag, a fan edit turned myth. In recent years, one image has taken the internet by storm, a gravestone marked with the name Donald J. Trump and the year 2025 carved underneath. It looks like a scene from The Simpsons. Yellow tones, cartoon shading, and that familiar Springfield cemetery backdrop. Millions believed it was a real prediction. But here's the twist. It wasn't. This gravestone was a fan edit, a combination of genuine Simpsons tombstone gags and digital sleight of hand. The Simpsons have a long-running tradition of using gravestones for dark humor and political satire, making the fake feel startlingly real. Still, despite being fabricated, the image refused to die. It spread across social media, entered forums, and even made it into conspiracy threads and YouTube prediction videos. People wanted to believe it, and maybe that's the scariest part. Why did this gravestone resonate so deeply? Because it looked like something The Simpsons would do. And in a world where the line between satire and reality is blurring, the image felt like prophecy. Whether you laugh or shiver, one thing's certain. Fake or not, the gravestone became part of the mythos. It reminds us just how much power a single image can hold, especially when it mimics a show that's already predicted so much. Prediction number 6. The White House burning, fan interpretation. In one chilling Simpsons episode, the camera pans across Washington, D.C. as plumes of smoke rise from behind the White House. It's brief, it's not explained. But for some fans, it was enough to spark a theory that won't go away. The image quickly became symbolic. Online theorists began tying it to a broader collapse of leadership, some even labeling it the end of the Trump era. Not necessarily a literal death, but a metaphorical downfall. Was the smoke a visual gag, a random disaster backdrop, or was it deliberately vague, allowing fans to project their fears onto it? As Trump faces political and legal storms in 2025, the scene has gained new relevance. Interpretations swirl. Maybe the White House in flames isn't about physical fire, but about a presidency under siege or the symbolic burning down of a controversial legacy. The Simpsons didn't need to say it out loud. They let the image speak for itself. And in this era of chaos, the audience filled in the blanks. That's the genius and the danger of a show like The Simpsons. It doesn't have to predict with precision. Sometimes it just reflects what we're already afraid of, and that reflection becomes prophecy in the minds of millions. Are we seeing the future, or just projecting it onto a cartoon that's always known how to hit a nerve? Either way, the fire's already burning. Prediction number 7. Trump's funeral poster, fake or real? One of the most viral images circulating in conspiracy circles is a funeral poster claiming to be from a Simpsons episode titled Trump's Funeral. The image shows key characters, Homer, Marge, Bart, and Lisa, dressed in black, mourning somberly as Trump's casket lies before them. The tagline? A chilling, "Goodbye, Mr. President, 2025. There's just one catch. No such episode exists. This is completely fan-made, a masterful blend of Simpsons-style animation, authentic-looking fonts, familiar facial expressions, and that unmistakable yellow hue. It was designed to look real, and it worked. It convinced millions. But here's the deeper question. Why did so many people believe it? Because it feels like something The Simpsons would do. Because the concept of Trump's death, especially in the context of a cartoon that's been shockingly accurate in the past, plays into public anxieties and fantasies alike. For some, it's political satire. For others, it's prophecy. Trump has long been a deeply polarizing figure. To his critics, the idea of The Simpsons mocking his funeral felt plausible, maybe even overdue. To his supporters, it was offensive propaganda. But regardless of your stance, the fact remains, this fake poster blurred the line between imagination and perceived inevitability. It highlights how deeply invested people are in using media to explain or predict reality, even when it's fiction. So, while the funeral never aired, the message did. We're watching, we're waiting, and we're willing to believe. Prediction number 8. Symbolic death, the end of an era. What if The Simpsons didn't predict a literal death for Donald Trump, but a symbolic one? Fans and theorists alike have started to view many so-called Trump death predictions through a new lens, not as prophecies of a physical demise, but as metaphors for a changing era. Let's go back to Bart to the future. Lisa Simpson becomes president and says, "We've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump." It's not just a jab at economics. It marks the end of Trump's chapter and the beginning of something new. In 2025, Trump turns 79. He faces growing legal scrutiny, a fatigued political base, and younger rivals in the spotlight. Some say The Simpsons didn't foresee his death. They foresaw his irrelevance. This death is cultural. It's the end of Trumpism, the collapse of celebrity-driven politics, the fading glow of a man who once dominated every headline. Symbolic deaths are powerful. They mark transitions, the moment when one story ends so another can begin. The Simpsons has always excelled at storytelling beneath the surface, using comedy to reflect cultural tides. And now, fans are rewatching old episodes with new eyes. Could 2025 be the year that Trump's influence finally dissolves? If so, The Simpsons predicted it, not through gravestones or coffins, but through shifts in tone, presidency handovers, and crumbling personas. So maybe it's not about whether Trump dies in 2025, maybe it's about whether his era does. Prediction number 9, the 2025 prophecy connecting all the dots. As whispers of The Simpsons predicting Trump's death in 2025 continue to ripple across the internet, some fans have taken things a step further, linking everything to a master theory. This theory hinges on one number, 2025. It's not just a date, it's a convergence point. Trump's potential re-election campaign could climax in 2025. His ongoing criminal trials, health rumors, and the mounting pressure of public scrutiny all seem to point toward a breaking point. Add his age, nearly 80 by then, and it starts to feel like a countdown. So, when fans see gravestones, fake funeral posters, or cryptic Simpsons quotes, they don't see coincidences, they see breadcrumbs. They argue The Simpsons is no ordinary cartoon. With its track record of predicting Trump's presidency, smartwatches, virus outbreaks, and more, it's become more than entertainment. It's a coded oracle. But is it really? Or are we just desperate for patterns in a chaotic world? Some say The Simpsons has been seeding symbols all along. Colors, numbers, background details. Others say it's all just masterfully timed satire. Either way, 2025 looms large in fan circles. It's not just about predicting death, it's about predicting change, a turning point, a final act. And for those obsessed with the Simpsons Trump theory, 2025 isn't a date on the calendar, it's a prophecy waiting to unfold. So, did the Simpsons really predict Donald Trump's death in 2025? Technically, no. Most of these scenes are fan-made, cleverly edited, or taken out of context, but the art style, tone, and eerie relevance make them feel authentic. And that's what makes them powerful. Over the years, this cartoon has predicted everything from Nobel Prizes to virus outbreaks, and most chillingly, Trump's rise to power. That's why so many people believe it predicted his fall too. But maybe the real question isn't about what's real or fake. Maybe it's this: why do we believe so deeply in a cartoon's ability to forecast reality? Is it the accuracy, the satire, or just our desire to make sense of a world spinning out of control? In the end, maybe it doesn't matter whether The Simpsons predicted Trump's death. Maybe the real story is how much we've started to trust cartoons more than reality itself.